Hey everybody, welcome back to Unite Inside. I hope that everyone's doing a great day. In this video, this is going to be a continuation of the people pleasing series. And in this video, I want to unpack the root issues of people pleasing. And the reason why it's important to do that is because so that you can see the trauma and the amount of abuse that you went through that actually caused you to become a people pleaser. Because a lot of people pleasers wonder, what's wrong with me? Why am I different than other people? How can I be so desperate for other people's attention? Why am I so scared to say no? Why is it like the most hard thing to do to just say no to someone, to just do what I want? Why am I so controlled by other people's feelings and perceptions of me? And in this video, I want to unpack this because for a long time I wondered, before I had my awakening and before I decided that I'm gonna take a deep look into this, discovering that I've been abused in my childhood. And you might take a different approach to this, but you will discover the same thing: abuse and emotional neglect. And this is what this video is about. So let's begin. I want to show you how is people pleasing related to your abandonment issues, and also how the root of it all is basically having and experiencing that abandonment. And it's not just, it doesn't have to be that your parent left you. It can be that they were with you, but they left you emotionally and starved you. So let's dig into this. The first thing I want to mention is that when you have created this pattern or coping mechanism of people pleasing, it's actually have been created from a certain pattern that your parents have been in. We don't create a pattern in us unless if there was a pattern in our caregiver, because then it is sustainable. It's something that you went through so much that you had to protect yourself from. So what you went through is emotional neglect, which can take a form of being completely emotionally forgotten about, not being tuned into emotionally, being ignored, being discarded, not being cared about, not being considered. Your opinion is being dismissed. Your feelings are being invalidated. Your opinions are being completely, brushed to the surface. It doesn't matter. Your opinion doesn't matter. Every time you voice yourself, you're told to shut up. Every time you express something that means something about you and who you are, you're being told that you're wrong. Not only did you experience being dismissed and invalidated constantly, criticized, picked upon, told that you don't matter multiple times, and abused. That's what emotional abuse is. All types of emotional abuse, including being told that you're basically not as important, that you should basically fight for love, prove yourself so that you can get a place in the family. Whatever it is, you have to be this type of person, expectations being put upon you, just basically not being given unconditional love or acceptance. Instead, being criticized and told that you need to be different than who you are, that you're not perfect, that you're not enough as you are. And I'm telling you, this happened through actions of abuse. This can be silent treatment, the silent treatment, or it can also be just being ignored, just being forgotten about, not feeling like you matter. Maybe you told your mom something, your dad something, and they just dismissed it constantly. Just like being forgotten about who you are when it comes to your emotions, to your thoughts, to your opinions, to who you are, to your needs, to your desires. Everything is just being dismissed. Okay? And that creates such a deep hurt within yourself. You start to feel very broken, very hurt, very sad. And then this can also be combined by actually being left out for days, not being someone not connecting to you emotionally and not actually checking in with you, not trying to give you their attention, not giving you their validation for like years, for fucking months, you know? This can go on for months, for years, for as long as you were with that parent, you know? And then you start to get used to, in your body, you start to get used to abuse. Abuse becomes your norm. It becomes something that you are used to. When you get up in the morning, you expect to be treated like shit. You expect that this is what you're used to because at some point you develop it becomes familiar. You develop this like feeling of like, this is normal. I should be treated like this. And you even start to feel it as love sometimes. Sometimes because you don't have any other way of actually feeling love, you find a way within this chaos to feel yourself a little bit of love. Which means sometimes they might yell at you and you might tell yourself, it's because they care about me. And that's where their abuse starts to translate in you as abuse. As love. You start to think yelling at you, criticizing you means they care about you. Being dramatic, creating chaos in your life means they care. And also it's because sometimes they completely ignore you too. There's different patterns, just different abusive patterns with a situation like this. It's where you actually have been left out in a place of emotional starvation, where you didn't feel that you were important, and you probably were seeking attention and trying hard, and you were not, still no one responded. Instead, you were even punished for it. You were even told that you're bad for communicating or for trying to reach out for connection in moments where you were so desperate. And so then you start to feel, maybe I'm the one that's weird. Maybe I'm the one that needs too much. Maybe I'm the one that is, crazy. I'm the one that is just trying to be insane. And that creates deep down this trauma where you start to actually look at yourself as the bad guy, or look at yourself as, maybe I shouldn't expect as much attention. Maybe I shouldn't expect as much validation. Maybe I shouldn't expect to be treated as a decent human being. And then when you start to reach that point of emotional starvation, emotional neglect, that you really think that maybe you were the one in the wrong and that there is something wrong with you for wanting too much attention, then you sink into shame, emotional shame, shame about yourself, about who you are, about the way you act, about the way you express yourself. And that causes you to not want to express yourself. That's why a lot of people pleasers are extremely shy and also quiet. It's because you've been told a million times to shut the fuck up. You've been told a million times that your voice is weird, that every time you speak up or say something, you're ignored, or you're also invalidated and criticized. And that actually causes pain in you. Because of how many times you've been invalidated, that causes you a desire or an urge to desire connection with others and also validation and attention from others. You start to feel this obsession that you just want to just get a little bit of a breadcrumb from someone. It's because you're not used to connection. You didn't live in a circumstance, in an environment where you were experiencing connection and validation and emotional safety. You were in a hostile environment where you were given chaos instead of peace. You were given trauma and hurt instead of love and validation and safety. All your emotional needs, which are the most emotional human needs, are connection, the need for connection, the need for belonging, the need for safety, emotional safety, security, the need for variety, and then the need for what is that need? There's one need that I left out. But anyways, there are needs, there are human needs that you needed, but your parents did not give you those needs. You just were not given those needs. And because of that, your norm was to not be validated, was to not be treated good, was to not be loved, was to not be embraced. And so you lived in that environment and it became normal that you put love, just normal niceness from other people, because you're so used to being yelled at that when someone just looks at you and loves you and just tells you like, you have a great day, or anything like that. You feel like you're starting to fall in love with them. You know what that comes from? Emotional starvation. You cannot possibly be someone that is so starved, that is so desperate for love, for the little breadcrumbs that people can throw at you, and not have trauma, not have experienced starvation. I'm telling you, a lot of people pleasers don't think that they even went through trauma, because they went through it with parents that were so narcissistic that they have twisted everything in the story, that you start to feel like maybe they were good. Maybe they did treat me good. Maybe they did love me. But that's not true. Maybe on the surface, it looks like they took care of you. Maybe they bought you clothes and gave you food. But that's not really all a human being needs. Human beings literally need that emotional connection. It is so important that your life depends on it. Like I expressed in other videos, a baby have been starved. It's been created, this experiment where a baby have been starved from emotional connection, and they ended up dying. You literally, if you don't get your emotional needs, it equals death as a child. Because that means our development, our emotional development, and our development in general depends on being connected. That's why as a little kid, you had to create those coping mechanisms so that you can literally survive and not die. It is a literal, you know? Like you had to create some type of, you know, um, harmony with your parent. And this is how you did it as a people pleaser. You thought maybe you should become like your parent. Maybe you should treat yourself like your parent treated you, because then that made you feel like you had something in common with them. There is nothing else I could have done, you know, to feel that you could fit into that situation. You know, you felt like you had to be like, you hate me, I hate me too. You disrespect me, I disrespect myself. You don't treat me with decency, with human decency. I don't treat myself with human decency. I'm hard on myself. If you ask a people pleaser, they're hard on themselves. They criticize themselves all the time. They doubt themselves. They're the first ones to knock themselves down, because that relationship becomes your relationship with yourself then. In that moment, because you're like, at least you can feel that there is something in common that you have with your parent in that moment. If you want, you can think about it. Go ahead and meditate about this. Meditate on it, because then you're going to realize, yes, this is what my subconscious mind is doing. It's basically telling me that I should become like the person that hurt me towards myself, so that I can feel some type of connection with them. So this is what you went through. Have some compassion for yourself. And now take the right steps towards healing. And let me share with you some of the steps that you can take. The first one I want to tell you, which is the most important one, is that the reason for all of this and what all of this trauma creates in you is a deep insecurity and a question mark about who you are, which means that you wonder, who am I? Am I a good person? Am I a bad person? What should I do of myself? What should I think of myself? Who should I be? And because you're so dependent on other people's attention and validation, it can be very unpredictable. You can't take who you are and the perception of who you are from other people, because they are changeable. People can think you're good, and then they can think you're bad, and then your emotional stability is going to be unstable. So if you want to get out of this, you have to regulate your own nervous system. When you try to people please someone outside of you, you're actually trying to regulate your nervous system. I'm going to tell you why. It's because in that moment, you feel this unsafety within yourself. You feel scared. You feel like, maybe I am not good enough. Maybe I am unworthy. And that makes you feel scared. Because of that belief, you feel that I should reach out right now in like this fight or flight state. I should quickly figure out a way to get their attention, to get their love, to get their approval, acceptance, so that I can feel safe again. So that I can feel like, okay, nothing bad is going to happen. I'm not going to be abandoned. Because what you're scared of the most is to be thrown away and left out and not have anyone to help you or take care of you. Because that is the perception of your inner child about life. As an inner child, as your inner child, was not able to get their needs met unless if they have made their parents do that. Because a little child can't get their needs met through themselves. But you have to understand that's why you feel so scared. It's because that part of you is still feeling that way. It is actually the inner child part of you that feels so scared in that situation. So that's why inner work is very important. I just uploaded a video of shadow work meditation that will help you to actually regulate your nervous system and be with those emotions of discomfort that you are experiencing so that you can be the one taking responsibility for it and regulating your nervous system. That's such an important skill that you have to learn. And it is literally something that you can learn. But you need to start doing it. A lot of times when we feel in that moment that we are unsafe, it's so easy to quickly think about, let's do something about it by getting someone else to help us. Because those emotions are so deeply uncomfortable that we want to run away from them. And we think that the safest thing to do is to reach out to other people. But start getting in the habit of the first thing to do, meditate, go inward, check in with yourself, focus on the feeling, ask yourself, what am I feeling? Letting yourself feel in it, letting the feeling arise in you, because that's how you heal it. You have to understand, we have a connection and a relationship with ourselves. And just like you want someone else to validate you and love you and accept you, I promise you that you can do that for yourself. That is so possible. Not only can you do that for yourself because you do have the ability to accept yourself and love yourself, but also you can find love and acceptance and this like feeling within you that you can learn how to connect it to yourself so that you're the observer and you're also the receiver of yourself. You can give yourself love and receive love from yourself. You can do both. And I have actually made videos about this to express how and explain how to do this process. I'm going to make more videos. Actually, I'm thinking about making meditations to help you specifically deal with emotions that are uncomfortable that arise from being a people pleaser, because that's going to help you to actually release them, knowing that you're dealing with this in this context. So, with this being said, another thing, the second step that I want you to take, which is amazing, is to actually go on a journey of discovering who you are. What does that mean? Instead of thinking or fixating your mind on the importance of other people loving you, because a lot of people pleasers, this is their dream. They want to find someone that loves them, that cares about them, that is there for them. That's their dream, their biggest dream, to be in a place where people respect them. But I want to tell you, the best thing you can do for yourself is to find a way to create that foundation from within. When you find a way to create new beliefs that are stable, where you practice them every day. I have a video about people, about how to actually change your beliefs. And go watch it. It is an amazing video. And I show you how to actually stop identifying with your limiting beliefs and start taking in new beliefs and how to actually create a pattern from them. Okay. So, with this being said, like I said, it is important because once you start to make those foundations from within and you start to actually have perceptions about yourself that are stable, like, I know who I am. When you reach that point where you know who you are steady in the expression of who you are, you think, okay, I am confident about myself through doing lots of meditations, shadow work, practices, self-care, rituals, whatever you can do. Inner work, letting go of your pain, releasing, emotional releasing exercises. I just released a meditation about emotional release. I know that this might sound annoying because I keep talking about my videos, but those are the videos that you can go watch after this video that will actually assist you in the healing of your inner child from your people pleasing. Okay? So that's very important. What I'm saying is, when you become the person that knows who you are, that you take your worth from yourself, that you're the one that decides your worth, you're the one that decides who you are, you become so powerful that you'll never be controlled by another person again. Which means when someone is trying to pressure you to do something that they want to do, you're not going to want to say yes, because you don't need anything from them. You don't need validation. You know who you are. You're not scared. You know that what is meant for you will come to you. You know that you know that you deserve the things that you want and that they are coming for you, and that you don't need them from someone that doesn't want to give them to you. So you don't need to say yes or manipulate them and act like you're nice so that you can get what you want from them. Because if they don't want to give you what you want, then they're not the one for you. They're not the ones for you. That's it. You're going to know this so deeply in your soul because you're healed, because you're stable. Okay? So I love you so much. I hope that this video and message helped you. And stay tuned for my other videos about this. Okay? And if you need someone that you want to coach you specifically about people pleasing from an ex people pleaser that used to be so obsessed with other people's opinions, but now I don't care, I don't give a fuck, I just do what I want and I'm confident in myself. If you want to become this person, then you should absolutely contact me via Facebook and I will take you on this journey so that you can start becoming this amazing person. You can have sessions with me and we can explore your options and see what it is that we can do for you. Okay? I love you so much and I'll see you soon. Mwah!